Hey guys, welcome to this fantastical review of the Mustang 2017 edition. Now we've had this car for 5 years, and unlike other reviews, we're going to tell you deep down what it's like to drive, what the good things are, what the bad things are. So make sure you stay tuned and watch up. First up, let's talk about the design. Yes, this car is reminiscent of some beautiful, gorgeous, sophisticated, beautiful, and you can see here the curves are just stunning. You've got the beautiful, well, we went for Racer Red, which is the only colour you should go for really in a car like this. We went for the Racer Red, and it's got the beautiful black accents, which just works so well with the Mustang. And just take a look at those wheels. Yes, like every good driver out there, you are bound to scratch your wheels on the curbs, and don't be afraid if this does happen to you, because even the best drivers like myself, it happens to. I'm sorry guys, it just happens. Taking you around the back, now this is something that I have literally enjoyed so much. This is the Mustang logo, which this car does not shy away from. There are plenty of logos around the car so that you know that you're driving a Mustang. You've got all horsepower and only horsepower in this beautiful car. But the great thing about it, I find, is this. I love these lights. Now, for me, I know when a Mustang is coming down the road because of the beautiful lights, because there is just a classic distinction between a Mustang versus, I don't know, a Hyundai. The lights tell you everything. They're beautiful. And you've also got the boot space. Now, guys, I can tell you a thing or two about this boot space. We have moved house twice in the Mustang. We have renovated our house.
Where's it going? What part?
Just gonna put it in.
Hey?
It's going in the under the driveway.
Now, what you should have done is that piece of pipe is no good.
In the Mustang, we have put our surfboards in the Mustang. This Mustang has got ample amount of storage. And right now I've got a gym bag, I've got a shopping bag, and I could even put myself in the boot if I wanted to. Just take a look. There's not a lot of wiggle room in here. Anyway. Thank you. All I'm trying to say is, if you wanted to convert this into a camping trip, you could literally put down those seats, put a mattress in it, and sleep away under the stars.
There you go. So the seats go down so you can fit more stuff in there.
How much meters?
I think the longest we fit in here is 2.7 meter blinds. Is that right? Yeah, just speaking of the design, it's a very, very sexy car. It just looks gorgeous, turns a lot of heads. The kids love the car. Obviously, they have to be really young, which is not good for me. You want a bit more adult people, but adult people know what a Ferrari is. Kids confuse this guy for a Ferrari. It's still nice. You get a nice little Mustang wave. I think they finger you like this when you're on the steering wheel, when you get past. I'll step on in, I'll show you the inside, and just the accent, silver, black. It's very, very chrome, shiny. Now this is 5 years old. This is what it looks like after 5 years. The seat, it's mostly electric. However, this is still manual, which is, I guess in this era, annoying. And what did I just do there? This is your access point to get the back. Now, we have words with the back. I used to own a 2005 Mustang, and that guy was big. He's solid, very, very heavy. And it was a coupe, so it still had only 2 doors, but you could fit into the back seat. And you can have some fun in the back seat. This one, I've never even used the back seat once. It's just too small. It's too small, and I'm not that big of a dude, so that's one of the negatives. The back seat is just for fun, or I don't know what it is. But step on inside, I'll show you the inside. So we're gonna start out. Just enter the car. It's nice to enter. I'm very, very comfortable with it. You do a little bit of a squat, but it's not like a Tesla Model 3 squat. Very, very comfortable. The front, like I said, is spacious. It's nice. The front is nice, but the back, you get no space whatsoever. But interior-wise, the design is just gorgeous. I mean, it's a bit of a mess here because we actually use this car, but the interior, it's so gorgeous, and even in 2022, it's very, very modern. So let me just show you some of the features. Look at this. Got loads of space here. I'll show you your hand drying techniques. You also have, this is a secret area here on this side. This, you put your sunglasses in there, and it's such a space saver. Look, special pouch there for your sunglasses. You got the glove box here, lots of room, lots of stuff. Big coffee cup holders. You got nice big, this is a parking, nice big handbrake. It's just, it looks so lush. It feels really good, like you feel it. It feels really good to use. You got the gear stick. You switch it up, it feels good. It's got drive and a sports mode. Leather steering wheel, or is this fake leather? I don't know what it is, but after 5 years it's lasted, so it's not cheap fake leather. And if it's real leather, it still hasn't broken up. I had my old Mustang, it literally broke up straight away. And I haven't used any interior protection. This is the interior protection that we've used so far. It's still, to be honest with you, I never touched the dashboard. I don't know who touches the dashboard, but the dashboard, look at that logo. It just looks like an iconic piece of kit. And the seats, the stitching's still there after 5 years usage. I didn't know, actually, we did do some vacuuming, but maybe like once a year. Like, we've been a bit nasty.
I don't know, speak for yourself there, Sunshine. I'm pretty sure I've washed this car a few times more than just once a year.
So seating, this is the only one that's manual. Everything else is automatic. I'm not farting, it's actually going back and forward. The lever's just rubbing on the side console. But yeah, fully automatic seat, well, mostly automatic seats, other than the diagonal, this bit here, but again, very, very modern. Let me just start the engine up, show you the infotainment system, since you guys are thinking this old car might not have good tech. So I'll start it up. And one thing you do get in here, and this, I mean, BMW, they're charging you subscription money for this. And actually, it's even better than the subscription other big companies charge you. It has heated seats, yeah? Heated, 3 stages, and it works. The heating actually works really well. But it also has even better cooled seats. Cooled seats. So you can actually, I mean, I don't know, I do use it every now and then. I won't die without it, but it's just there as standard. I didn't pay it as an extra, like for other what are we saying?
Both of us.
Well, go on, mention it.
And I just want to say, Ash, it's for both of us. It's not just one person. Like, we've seen a lot of cars that have only one person's heated seats. But look, I can activate 2 of us, or I can activate both of us having cold seats. You have to pay extra for that in some companies. Never ever get tired of this.
Yeah, AC. Just go, and you got a climate menu. You choose where you want the AC to go. You can defrost. You can have it pointing towards you. You can have it doing your legs. You can even turn off AC and just have the wind blowing on its own. And you can punch it up. Tons of airflow going to you. Nice width, breadth of air just going towards you. That's the AC there. I'm just turning it off, showing you what it is. But good dual zone. You get one for me and one for my partner. Dual zone. I usually just make them work both at the same time. Don't know why one person will try to be hot and too hot, they'll overrun it. Guess it uses more petrol. Infotainment system. You also get a standard reverse camera. Look, check it out. I'm in reverse. Boom, I can see behind me, and it's got front sensors. Well, I've actually paid extra to put in front sensors, so it's a couple of $100 just putting around the front, and I get a button over here. That's just a customization. You don't get standard, but you do get a reversing sensor. So I have been pretty much parking in reverse for the whole history of this car, because I think you need parking cameras front and reverse, because just look in front of you right there. What is that? That is the most massive bonnet. It's oversized. It's ridiculously big. I love it because it looks good, but it is a pain to park. I literally can't see in front of me. Like, going around those bends, it is, you're gonna get used to it. You're gonna feel it. It's like playing a piano, but you're bound to make some mistakes with the size of this bonnet. If you can get an aftermarket front parking camera, shouldn't be too expensive, maybe 500 bucks, something like that. I would get it. I cheaped out on it. I just figured I'd go front parking sensors. But if you are getting something for this car, get front cameras, or just be a competent driver. You can kind of like align it on the lines of the hood, but the bonnet is massive. It's fun, but it's massive. Other thing about tech, it's just basic. It's got things like Android Auto and Google Play. So you got CarPlay and Android Auto all in the system here. It is wired Android Auto, and it is also wired CarPlay, but I guess you want to be charging your phone, so it's probably worthwhile plugging it in that way. And you got all these other features. Navigation, maps are built in if you want it, but I always just use my phone. So if you want to use Android Auto, or you just have your phone right there, a lot easier to use, and it just works. So I never use maps there. But tech is still modern for this era. I've seen brand new 2022 cars, and they don't have front parking cameras, they don't have all these features, it doesn't have heated and cooled seats, it doesn't have this gorgeous design, and I haven't even got to this window. So all these Tesla drivers, they're missing out on what this is happening over here. So you got two big grills, and they just look gorgeous. You see the revs on the left side here, just revving away, increasing the speed, and you got the speed over there, and you got all these trip computers. So as you can see, I've almost hit my 1,000 hours driving this car. I've got a fuel economy of 9 litres per 100 kilometers. This is 11, and I've been driving on standard mode. Got average speed. This is all these trip computers. You also can go into the settings and change your colors. So my color accents, it doesn't happen at the moment, but at night time, my ambient light, it glows red. And if you open up the door, actually a logo of the Mustang appears. Then you can customize this to any color, and it's chic lighting, because if you go into the latest Mercedes, it kind of looks like an Alienware computer system, lights everywhere. It's like you got a mini disco, and it's a bit silly because at night time you need to just tone that stuff down because you can't see anything in the wing mirrors. So it's a very, very chic lighting, very, very comfortable, everything. You got manual paddle shifters over here. Yeah, it's just a nice golden drive. I think what I'll do now is I'll just quickly just start the engine up, take you for a little spin, and just show you the ride here. So just indicating on the right, and I drive in normal mode. You okay? You want to put your seatbelt on?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm right here. Just go to the. I'm right here on normal drive mode, and it's still got a good kick. Look, it still drives really well. Like, you kick it, and it still drives nicely. You get nice acceleration if you want. But the difference between normal D and sport is, I find that sports mode hunts the gears a little bit more aggressively. So switches between gears a lot more, and you don't need to put your pedal down as much. So you can still get a nice acceleration on drive, gorgeous acceleration. You just need to put your foot down a little bit more. So the sports just modifies that, so it accelerates a little bit faster. I'll give you an example. So I'm gonna switch over to sports mode right now. And if you wanna waste some fuel in this economy, that's on you. But let me just go. See that? Very aggressive, the sports mode. Very aggressive. It's got a nice kick. Nice kick to it. Obviously, I'm going to be burning up a lot of petrol with this. The engine sounds a lot meatier, but one thing I do find in sports mode is that it feels a little bit maybe not good for traction, because I feel like because it accelerates really fast, I'm more likely to lose grip on the road. So if you are turning while accelerating, I wouldn't do that, but you'll get a feel for this. And I'll probably just switch over to drive, because I find that more comfortable. I'm more of like a cool cucumber that can just put a foot down when you need it, and just generally just driving and then enjoying the ride. Now, ride enjoyability, like, I didn't really notice this because this is the car I've been driving forever, but it is a bit bumpy and it is a bit noisy. Like, you hear a lot of the outside wind, like you hear the grumbling, and it is noisy and it's bouncing on the road and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it's kind of like what you expect when you're driving a high performance vehicle. You want to be low to the ground and feel all those nooks and crannies on the road. And for added, you know, me, I drive in kind of like comfort steering, but you get all these amazing dials here. So I can switch over to the steering wheel and go to comfort, which makes it a lot easier to change. Or I can switch over to normal or sport. Sport makes the steering wheel very heavy, and you can really lean into those corners, really feel the aggression. But for me, because I'm a chill kind of dude, I just switch it over to comfort. And look at those dials there. I'm not James Bond. One of them is not going to eject the passenger. But it just...
Literally, I thought that when we got this car. I was like, which one's the eject button?
But there is a button there that you don't ever want to use, in this traction control. Just right there. Don't turn that off. If you turn it off, it's on you. But this car, you know, I'll be honest with you, I haven't actually had too bad of an experience with this. I did lose grip maybe 3 times in 5 years worth of driving, just skidding out, and that's when it was after a heavy rain situation. And all you do there is just slow down and just control the steering wheel, just keep it very, very nice and timid, and it kind of you can overcome it. But yeah, it's not an SUV, it's not that heavy, you know, parity wise in the front and the back, so you can lose traction because there is a lot of acceleration there. So that's, don't ever use that button. This one's for hazard lights. Obviously you don't need to use that unless there's a hazard. And you got different driving modes, so you can switch between Sport Plus, Racetrack, Snow Wet, and normal. I'll be honest with you, I've never changed modes. I just always kept it at normal. But there's all these features to play with if you like. As you see, the map's still there, all up and running. It's just nice, cool as a cucumber kind of ride. All right, so now it's time for the big boss to try out the car and let me know how she feels.
I am so excited for this one, Ash, because one thing I like about this car is it feels very low to the floor. It feels like there's a lot of traction, there's a lot of hell. It just holds its weight really well, and I feel like you can just drive off and just go vroom. Yes, love it, love it, love it. It's such a sexy car. I think I'm gonna miss it. It does handle very well. It's very responsive to my steering, in my opinion anyway. Obviously I don't know how it is for other drivers, but certainly for me it feels like it's low, it's on the floor. But the problem with it being low and on the floor is, yeah, you get a lot of that.
And this isn't even on sports mode.
Oh, okay. So it's gonna be even worse on sports mode. But yeah, no, generally speaking, it's a nice drive. It feels solid, feels stable, but the bumps are a thing. Like, I'm going over the potholes right now on purpose. Ordinarily, we would probably try to avoid them because it's so bumpy, but maybe that's the part of being quite low on the floor, perhaps. But you know, the good thing about it is it does look beautiful.
It's a head turner.
It's a head turner, exactly.
Although guys loved it.
You often get the kids or adults going, yeah, fantastic, it's a Ferrari. But you know what? We're just gonna have to park it up here, give it some magical lighting, have a little look at its all its glory.
Whoa. So looking at the sensors, look, it has all of the gauges here, inlet air temperature, everything that you need to know. It's even got a tire sensor, so you know how much PSI is in your car. So it's got like all the tech there, very, very advanced, and it's a nice, simple computerized system. I'm sure the modern cars today, they'll have a million parts. Mercedes themselves, they've got a million different parts, so a million different ways to upkeep your car. But generally this one's survived. One more tech, it does have cruise control. Now I don't actually use controller, but just let me just show you how it works up there. So you just start driving, and on the steering wheel here, you got this quadrant of situation here. You just press on, and then you set it, you press plus, and that you choose the speed you want to go. So right now it's going 36, you hold it down and it goes faster and faster and faster. However, it doesn't have adaptive cruise control. So what that means is you need to be aware of what's in front of you. To be honest with you, I wouldn't even trust the modern cars with adaptive cruise control, but just be ready to hold your fingers on the cancel button right here, and that will turn off cruise control, and then will resume the cruise control at the speed you had before. So you press plus, turn it on, press plus, and it'll speed up once you hit resume. But I just hit the brake, and that kind of eliminates cruise control, so I turn it off anyway. Uses a little bit less chipping or whatever it does.
All right, well, Ash, you have been so positive so far, and I have to say, I love this car as much as you do, but there definitely have been some issues along the way. And you mentioned service, and oh boy, Ford. Now, we are good, diligent people, human beings of the world, and we always say to ourselves, well, we're going to go to the dealer because that's usually what you do. Like, I had a Mercedes in the past and I got it done with the Mercedes dealership, and we decided, you know, we'll take it to Ford because you want to keep that nice, accurate service log. And I'll tell you something, Ford are not known for their service, their good competencies in their service for a reason. They are literally the most incompetent people you could ever take your car to.
I wouldn't say they're the most incompetent. We just had a couple of bad experiences because the other service place was really nice. They just did their job, good price, fixed everything they said they'll fix. We just had a bad experience with one service centre.
There was.
It was a very bad experience.
They basically had apprentices.
They were very rude.
They were rude, and
their servicing was very questionable. Like, they'd say it's all good when then they say it's all bad and everything needs to get changed.
Correct.
It was just stuff like the oil levels need to get changed, or your brakes need to get changed.
What surprised me as well is what they actually do in their service. Like, you know, we actually, after we took our car in for servicing at Ford, they did come up with a few issues. They said that the brakes and the rotors needed changing, which we did. We did that externally. We didn't do it at Ford because they were going to charge us double. But then
more than double. And it's just, we didn't really trust their opinion.
Yes.
Because you take it to them and say, oh, perfect, this will last you for years, and then you just take them a few months later and say, oh no, it's all completely wrong.
Correct.
And then they just like say, I don't know how you drive. Why you drive like that?
They blame you.
Weird issues were fueling up.
Yes, thank you for the reminder. Our fuel valve pump, was it? Or what was it called?
Yeah, basically, this was on year 4. Every single time we fueled up the car wouldn't start.
Yeah.
And we had to do a force start. And what that meant is kind of just holding the brake down, revving up the car on the accelerator, but keeping the brake down. And then after the car gets going for like a minute, then you can drive off. Whereas if you just turn the car on without revving the car up,
It stalls.
it will just turn off. Yeah.
It stalls.
But they changed over the fuel injector valve.
Yes. It took us a lot of time to research this and find actually what was wrong. And we went to a bunch of people and they said, well, we actually went to our external mechanic and he said, I didn't know enough about Ford Mustangs to be able to tell you what's wrong with it.
Talked to a Ford dealership. We talked to one Ford dealership. They had no clue.
No idea.
We talked to the other ones. They seem to know. Yeah, it's probably that. And if you type into YouTube, it says, yeah,
And
it's
you
probably
find
that. And when he came in to see him, they said, yeah, it's probably that. They
that.
changed it and it was that. So I think it's maybe
It's mechanic dependent. Like if you've got a mechanic that
dealership
knows,
dependent. Yeah.
If they've had a lot of experience with this car. Now this is actually a problem with the Mustangs from 2017 because I don't know how about now, but whenever we were researching it, people would always complain about this particular issue.
It always happens, yeah.
Yeah, it always happens. I do wonder if it's fixed up for the next round of Mustangs.
Might
I'm
be
not
fixed,
sure.
yeah. But ours has been fixed anyway. So.
Ours is fixed, and it was a relatively nominal fee.
But can you think of another issue that's happened in this car?
Well, we had the brakes, we had the rotors, we had the air conditioning, we
But
had
brakes is just something
the brakes
you
is a
do.
maintenance thing.
Yeah.
We had the fuel.
The rotors is a
valve.
maintenance thing.
To be honest, not really. The paint protection, we got our car paint protected.
Just
now,
the exterior.
The exterior. The interior, like I didn't need to do it.
There's no
so it was
paint on
fine.
the interior. I
But
don't know why I said that.
there was a bird poop on our car, and that has left a little bit of a stain. But that could be because we were a bit negligent in maintaining the car.
I think you're better off just focusing on maintaining it yourself, buying yourself some
Yeah.
Bowens or was it
Something.
turtle wax or
Yeah, turtle
just something
wax.
that you have to regularly maintain, so that forces you to wash the car. We do wash our car.
We do.
But that bird, we said the
But
bird poop, you see it.
Yeah,
you just
I
can't
never,
get rid of it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
tried and I tried.
They say
and I
paint
gave
protection is
up.
meant to last forever, and you just wash it every now and
Yeah.
then. But yeah, it seems to have stuck there.
Yeah, and I don't know if we had any other issues with it per se. I think generally it was a very nice, pleasant car.
Sound system's gorgeous. Sounds
Yeah,
really, really hot.
We utilised it. Like obviously the first 6 months we didn't even want to get a scratch on it, but I'll be honest with you, I have literally scratched this baby up so much, and yeah.
Did that in the first month.
The first month, I do recall. One thing I just want to say that I like about this car is this, as a girl, there are lights. There are some cars out there that do not have lights with the mirror, and for me personally that's a really important feature.
All right, I think that's it. You got other ridiculous features like this one. Look at that. Don't know. You can. This is a very wide car, especially for a sedan, or maybe it's not for a sedan. It's on the wider side and it's on the long side, and for this length, you should really have 4 doors. If this was a 4-door, I'd definitely
Keep it.
Yeah, I'd keep it. But I guess it's better than a sports car because at least you get the back seats. But yeah, it's a very big car, so maybe you can tuck it in. Look at that. That's a nice one. That's a Beat. That's a Dodge. Sexy. Hello. You want to do a race? Are you scared? You're scared. I offered. Yeah, you can fold up your wing mirrors. When it comes to this area here, just pretty much have your lights. Just have your lights on auto. Pretty much have everything on auto, and it seems to work well. Yeah, for what it's worth, I've got really minimal complaints on this car. It's done its job. I've read horror stories about other car brands and other cars, and they were a nightmare. But for us, we just had a bad service experience. And I googled it up, and apparently Ford just generally has a bad servicing experience. But that being said, on the other service centre it was well, so I can't badmouth them too much. They've done a good job. Gorgeous car, gorgeous design. Still got Apple Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, very, very modern, 2017, and the screen very, very big, and it's discreetly big because it's actually a small screen, but the way they've designed it with this, it makes it look bigger than it is. We went in some cars recently and they were just ridiculous. I remember we went to the Jeep Grand Cherokee, and that was a horror show inside. It was, cup holders were small, and it's a beast of a car.
So another thing to consider is resale value. Now, at the moment, the market is favourable if you do want to sell your car because they have some stock issues because there's some chips that are missing.
Yeah, Ford Australia, they have a waiting list of over a year, so they've stopped taking orders.
Wow.
And there's actually something special going on. Everyone's moving to EV right now.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's going to happen with the prices of these cars. I'm sure, if I had to guess, that the generic petrol cars, the generic diesel cars, the generic stuff, they will lose their value and they will plummet. But the specialty, the ones that are a bit of a flair, because they're not making those cars anymore, they're going to stop making them, those are probably going to go up in value like the collector's car.
Yeah,
so you probably shouldn't actually sell this car because this one might be a collector's car material because it's a Mustang, it's got a nice brand name, and it doesn't have too much electronics. It's probably going to survive. It's probably, a car like this probably might turn into a classic
It may do,
classic
yeah,
cars, and it's probably
absolutely.
worth a lot of money. But the generic petrol cars definitely, and the generic diesel cars, they're probably going to go a bit out of fashion. When I say diesel, I'm talking about not the serious like trucks. You know, I don't think the EV trucks are going to work. I'd love them to work. I have a Cybertruck on order, but as soon as you start towing anything, the range just dies completely.
Yeah.
So you do currently need a different sort of solution to that problem, and that solution isn't here yet. So those kind of specialty vehicles, they're still going to be very valuable, but the generic stuff, that's probably going to go down.
So there you have it, guys. That wraps up our review of this beautiful 2017 Mustang EcoBoost 2.3 litres. We hope you guys have found this video useful and, of course, enjoyed the show. Vroom, vroom, vroom.